Hi everybody, and I'm back with another store cupboard meal. This is a really easy one. It's going to take you 5 minutes maximum to prep it, but it's going to be super easy. It's one of those that you can add anything into it you want as well. So if you've got stuff laid around in the fridge, just whack it in. It's absolutely fine. I'm using my slow cooker today. You don't have to. You can use slow cooker, you can use a casserole dish with a lid on in the oven, or a big pan with a lid on the hob. The choice is yours. But you know me, I just like throwing everything in the slow cooker. And what I'm making today is this. It's the Colman's chicken casserole. If, like me, you're following Slimming World, this is 6.5 syns, but it serves 4. And for me, that's a smart syn usage, if you like, this time of year. Because, you know, I'm adopting this approach through December of being on plan where I can. And it's because we're going to be out doing Christmas parties, we're going to be out doing other things, and I'm just sort of trying to make things really easy for myself, to be quite honest. So that is what I'm cooking, and let me show you where we are so far with it all. Okay, so on my board I've used 1 onion about this size. It actually says 2, but I've only used 1 because it's quite a big onion. Then you need 450 millilitres of water. Now, if you're using a slow cooker, we may not use all of this, okay, because we need to reduce the liquid content when we're using a slow cooker. And then I've used 4 carrots, about the length of the palm of my hand. And again, then it goes to add anything you want. Now, when mine is cooked, or it's coming to like the last hour, I've got this huge tin of new potatoes. And what I might do is add them into it. And a serving suggestion, you could actually put some dumplings on top as well, which would work really well in this recipe. So as always, here is my Briefton's chopper. I will link this because it is one of the best kitchen gadgets I have. So as you can see, I've already chopped my carrots and my onions. They've all gone in there, and it's so easy to use. Graham bought me mine. I've had it years, and I just wouldn't do without it. Definitely not, and especially not sort of over the winter where you're making soups and things like that. It just saves so much time. It really does. Okay, so that's everything in there diced. It's all diced to the same size as well, which makes things even better because it means it all cooks at the same time. It's all dishwasher safe as well. Let me just get that out of the way. In my slow cooker, I have 600 grams of chicken thigh, and I find that chicken thigh can be a little bit fatty, so I've removed as much of the fat as I possibly can. Now, you could use chicken breast, you could use diced chicken, use whatever you want. It's just when I find that when you're using the slow cooker, I've been converted this year to basically using chicken thigh when I'm using the slow cooker. The only thing I don't like about chicken thigh is you cannot guarantee you can get all of these little bits of fat off, but I'll live with that because it's cheaper than breast and diced. Okay, so 600 grams of chicken thigh is in there. I'm not even softening onions down or anything like that. The whole lot of this is just going to get whacked in the slow cooker. Okay. This sauce is not designed to be cooked in a slow cooker, but it's going in, okay? And if you ever watch me on any cooking that I've ever done, you'll know that this is just me all over. This is what I do. I just whack it all in. Now, I'm using warm water because this will have some kind of thickening agent in. And I know the slow cooker will heat up as we go along, but I want a really nice thick sort of gravy on this chicken as well. So what I'm going to do is, let me just bring in the water level to the top of the contents. Because remember, with a slow cooker, your onions, once they start reducing down, will start adding liquid back into it. When the lid goes on and you cook, the condensation from the inside of the lid starts dripping in. So you're always adding moisture back into the dish. Now, I had 450 ml in here. Let me just see how much of that I have used. Right, so I've used about 300 ml. Okay, 350 ml. The good thing about a slow cooker is if you come into the end and it looks a bit too thick, just add a splash of water. You know, it's always better to not add enough liquid than try and get rid of it, to be quite honest. But I'm going to stick at that about 300 ml. And basically that will go on low for about 6 or 7 hours, something like that. Won't take long to cook, but about 6 or 7 hours. And then once we get to that point, I'll come back and I'll show you how it looks. And then really it's just going to be about how I decide to serve it, whether I do want to make up some dumplings and add them on top, whether I do want to add a huge tin of potatoes. And I think I might actually, because I think that'd work really, really well in this. Plus they're already cooked, so they're not going to take too long to cook. If you want to use normal potatoes, like cooking potatoes, they need to go in now, not at the end. And also just make sure that you cut them all to the same size and you keep them sort of quite smallish, sort of that biggish. The thing with potatoes is they take so long to cook in a slow cooker, and if you do big chunks, you'll find that the dish is cooked but the potatoes aren't. So it's not great. You usually see I never really cook potatoes in the slow cooker, and it's for that reason. You've got to really get it right. However, if you do have one of these Briefton's choppers, put the potato through the small dice and add it now with the carrots and the onions, and again that'll work really, really well, because again everything is the same size, everything will cook at the same time. So that is stage one. Let me come back a little bit later in the day and I'll show you how this looks and whether I needed to add any more water or not. Okay, here's the update, and it is finished, and as you'll see, this is a very, very thick, lovely, silky gravy to it. I haven't added the tinned potatoes because when I've looked at it, I thought I don't really want to, because there are so many other things I could do with this. I could actually make this into a pie, I could serve it with some mashed potatoes, lots of greens, I could add dumplings, I can do any of those things. I could even put it in a pie dish and sort of slice these potatoes and put them on top. You know, there are a lot of different things that I could do with it, and I don't particularly need it right now. So what I'm going to do is let this cool off, put it into an airtight container, put it in the fridge until I need it, and then I'll decide what to do with it. And once I do decide what to do with it, I will let you know. So I finally decided what to do with the chicken casserole. As you can see, it is still in an airtight container now, getting heated up slightly in the microwave. And what I've decided to do is create like a hot pot kind of meal. So in this bag I sliced potatoes. Now these are by a company called Cheshire Farm. I'll show you a picture at the end of the video of the box and everything of what they look like. You can actually buy these from Morrison's or directly online, but you can just slice your own potatoes and do it that way. So these have been in the freezer. I'm just going to sort of get these defrosted, put the chicken in here, the chicken casserole in there, and then I'm going to layer the potatoes on top and then probably put them in the halogen just to crisp the potatoes up. So as we're going through that, I'll show you quickly how I do that. And there you have it, all the potatoes are laid. I just sort of sprayed them with a bit of this oil that I use just to make sure that they're going to be nice and brown and crispy. Halogen lid on. Remember, halogen's just an oven, so just if you want to put this in the oven, it'll be exactly the same. I'm going to keep that down to about 180 and turn it on for probably about 15 minutes and just see how those potatoes go. So I can now just leave that for 10 or 15 minutes and I'll come back and see how we're ticking along. Okay, so how easy was that to get a chicken casserole, a chicken hot pot, a chicken pie, whatever you want to do with it. You know, you finish it off whichever way you and your family need to finish it off. For us, it was a complete winner. It tasted amazing. If you watch to the end of this video, you'll see a finished picture of the dish, and I will also post a picture of the Cheshire Farm potatoes, and I'll put a link to their website. I think it's probably the best in the description below, wherever you're watching this video. And that is it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.